everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Happening Now with me, Tim. This is going to be about a 5-minute show that just catches you up on some of the major news stories that are happening now. FYI, this could end up being 3 minutes or 10 minutes. Who's to say? Guess we'll find out together. Anywho, let's get to some of these news stories happening now. Earlier this week, Governor Greg Abbott decided to lift the state's mask orders in Texas, shocking most public health experts around the country. However, late last year, he was actually criticized by members of his own party for implementing the life-saving order in the first place. And I have a feeling he's sitting around right now wondering why he even did it. That was until Ted Cruz walked in. He's like, "Oh my God, put a mask back on. Jeez, whole state, mask back on." Governor Abbott isn't the only person lifting these life-saving restrictions in the U.S., though. A CNN article written earlier this week stated that Mississippi is also lifting the mask restrictions, and states like Louisiana, Kentucky, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are all significantly loosening their restrictions on restaurants and businesses. While the number of cases are going down in the country, what these governments fail to realize is that there are new, even more contagious strains of the coronavirus being circulated. Opening things up now would be like if you were in the final few days of dealing with a cold and you decided, "F it, I'm gonna go lick the floor of a city bus." Just because you're doing better doesn't make you impenetrable to disease. Moving on, there has been a lot of progress with the new COVID-19 stimulus bill that has been sent to the Senate. The bill could possibly even be passed on the Senate side as early as today, however, most are thinking it's going to be sometime this weekend. That being said, there have been some significant stalls created by Republican senators on the relief bill, which is simply baffling. They claim they are stalling because they don't want to increase the current national debt with such a large bill. But to stop a bill that's only going to help Americans during one of the worst health crises this country has seen in over 100 years is a pretty awkward time to bring up national debt. It would be like if a pipe broke in an apartment complex and your building manager was like, "Oh, I would help, but we've been spending too much money recently, so I think it would be in the best interest of the building that we let your apartment fill up with water." And you're like, "Well, do you realize this not only affects me, but everybody below me? And by doing nothing, it's actually going to cost you more money in the long run." Oh, it doesn't matter because it doesn't affect the penthouse on the top of the building? You mean that same penthouse that you told doesn't have to pay rent anymore back in 2017? Dope. You're awful. Now, a little Tim time break. Helps. There he is. Dig, 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 dig. Dig, dig, dig. That's my cat Elvis. He woke me up at 4:30 this morning. It was exciting. Moving on to our final story, smartphone addiction. Hopefully that didn't just freak a few of you out that are maybe watching this on a smartphone, but there's a growing concern in the medical communities over smartphone addiction, particularly in the case of addiction negatively affecting your sleep. A recent study published in Frontiers in Psychiatry found that up to 40% of college students surveyed qualified as being addicted to their smartphone, and the risk for addiction increased significantly when the subject used their phone later. And I think we've all been there at 3 a.m. looking at random Instagram posts about sloths that overcome all odds and get to the other side of the road. Actually, that might just be me. But it is still concerning given what it can do to a person's sleep pattern. In some cases, people have had to go to detox centers just to overcome this addiction. So before we go, I just wanted to tell you about some ways to fight it, especially for those of you that look at your phones right before bed. You could schedule phone timeouts where you don't look at your phone for a certain period of time every day. You could remove social media apps from your phone and check them on a computer like you're 90 years old. You could make your phone display grayscale and then it's boring to look at. Or just don't bring your phone to bed with you. Have it somewhere else. Personally, I would just take off all the social media apps. You know, other than to post about my new show or my only hilarious to me sketch videos. Anywho, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.